Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to the Ultimate Automation Challenge. Now, in today's episode here, we're going to be doing a couple of systems that I've been thinking about doing for a while. And now that I have the high temperature pumps that we've kind of explored around with a little bit here, I can definitely build them up here. One of the things I want to do is take care of this infectious polluted oxygen vent so that I can go ahead and work with that thing, which wasn't really a problem. It only became a problem once all this really hot steam ended up around it, not to mention all the regolith. And one of the other things I also wanted to bring into the game, which is now a new thing in the game, just not in my map currently, is the shovel here. I'd like to have this inside my base, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spawn in a couple of these guys. Alright, so I counted from one of the other games that right around 10 shovels would be a good way to go. So I'm going to use sandbox mode in order to spawn those in. So that tab is now going to be here. I won't be able to get rid of it. But if I go down to critters and we put the shovels in there, then let's see what happens when I put 10 of these down. Alright, so to get access to this guy over here, a lot of this regolith here was just not a problem until this most recent update. So when you guys are kind of saying maybe I should just get rid of some of it. Well, I did get rid of it in here, just because that's like, look at little critter go. Look at him. Oh man, they zip around all over the place, don't they? Okay, so to deal with this guy, fairly simple system. I'm just gonna need a high temperature gas pump in there. So something that's like steel, that'll work great. Of course, I need a spot to put it down. One of the other things that I'm thinking about doing here, well, obviously I'm going to rework this system. You can see I'm deconstructing everything inside of there. Is to have a central place for a lot of my liquids. So you can see my liquid system is impressively all over the place. The thing is, I have a couple of areas where I'm now receiving more water. So I have some from the couple of steam vents. I also have natural gas generators, and I'm going to have more of those. We got this system here that's going to be pumping, hopefully, pretty soon. Yeah, it looks like it's pumping like crazy right there. Why aren't you pumping up here? What's up? Above or below number, that's the problem. All right, so there we go. So what I was saying here is I just have a lot of different liquids that are around, and if I really want to take this to the ultimate of automation, I need to be able to draw from common sources of liquids, especially if I need to do a lot of petroleum and whatnot for rockets and things of that nature. Not to mention areas of like where they gotta just stay really cold. So where I was thinking about putting the liquids, if we just kind of zoom out here to the full scope of my base, I think a great spot for liquids would be right here in the middle. So that way all the equipment over here, the down there, and what we do up here and wherever it needs to pipe to, just comes back to the same spot. Ooh, okay, so here's a good idea. Here's something, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I'm gonna do it anyhow. I'm gonna use the auto digger thing. The robo miner. Ah, what are you doing? Alright, so let's see how this works. I think it'll be an interesting thing. Alright, so once I get around to going up inside of here. What? What are you doing, shovels? Who do you think you are, Drecos? Oh my gosh. No! They're both doing it. Oh, there's another one! Buddy! Save yourself or something. There you go. No! Dude! Seriously! Oh, man. There, I reset him. What? Gossman, how did you get out of here with a suit? Oh, man. What are you flying? Ah, these dupes. There should have been 0 paths for you to go and do this. But now, look at you. Rather than using the transit tube, you're just gonna rocket ship all the way all over the map. Alright, at least gonna put the suit back. Wow, that's impressive. At least you did that. What? The wire's not even complete. What is this Wi-Fi power supply we got going on here? So these robo miners, they would be useful at nice high temperatures for like areas like volcanoes, where suddenly the liquid cools down or something like that to a solid, and you need to extract that metal. At least that's what comes to mind for me. It's probably not the most useful thing here, although it is a little bit quicker. What happened here? Uh-oh. A bunch of phosphorus found its way down. Why is that still liquid? 40 something degrees now. I thought that was higher. I thought that was more like 400. Oh, that's just because of the gas, not a liquid. Okay. Shovels. There's also a request to put in oops, not one of those. No! To put in a shine bug. So I'll put one in here, and we'll see where it goes from there. There's more than one request. There's like a lot of requests for shine bugs. There's another robo miner. I like it. It's a very interesting way to clear an area. So I'm going to clear this area, and then I'm going to also fill it with some bunch of deodorizers as well. This will be an insulated tile zone. That way I can go in here and I can just... I don't have to worry about a lot of the temperatures that are going to be outside of it, because I could have some higher temperature liquids stored in this area. And it might actually need to be bigger, and I can go all the way up here, but you can see how much polluted oxygen is up there. I don't really want to break into that right now until I have something set up to convert a lot of that to clean oxygen, because otherwise that's a fair amount of slime lung that I could be dealing with. How did you get inside of here? What is up with these little guys? No, move. Yep. There you go. Be up there. Okay, so one of the problems I'm finding in my base is that I have a lot of these systems that are, they're balanced per themselves or whatever it is. They're kind of self-balancing. But at the same time, they're kind of backing up a little bit. So I always have to have a place for another overflow for it to be used. And it's getting a little bit out of hand, a little bit hard to control that. So again, that's why I'm talking about doing this up here as far as having a storage area for gases and liquids. I'm also going to release some slime here to keep these puffs nice and happy. I want them to stay healthy and live a nice long life, so I'm going to give them some polluted oxygen to breathe. By some, I mean a whole lot. At some point, we're going to finally dig this up. Oh yeah, so there we go. Just 10 kilograms or such just flowing through that area. That'll make their way up to the little puffs. Make them happy. I'm going to dig all of this out as well. I'm just going to keep going. All the way over there. So a liquid reservoir is about that tall. Is the gas reservoir the same height? Yes. So 3 tiles tall for either one. 2, 3. I'm just going to work on closing it up. Oh no! That was the wrong tile. Crap. Oh no, I canceled everything. Double crap. Build everything. 1, 2, 3. More of that. Guess I don't need ladders. Man, there's a lot of construction going on in this episode. So the idea is once I get all this done, I'm going to get rid of the oxygen and bring in chlorine that I have bottled up or in some of the storage devices. So that way when I go to pipe gas out or liquid, I guess, doesn't really matter, into this area, it will disinfect automatically, so I don't have to worry about it. Now, as far as I'm concerned on the liquid systems, I'm just going to have an in and an out. And then I can run this to a shutoff that if I have a good system here, I can just kind of repeat the same sort of thing. I don't have to reinvent it each time. So if I put a canister emptier right there, then I can bring in chlorine and just empty it out right there. And if I have a couple of doors, I can keep this one closed while we're using the system. That's going to let the chlorine into the room, and hopefully that will try to displace the oxygen in the area. And then I can close this off to pretty much leave just chlorine down here over the liquid reservoirs. We will see if this works. A whole lot of stuff needs to be swept up here. Maybe I don't want to do all of that down there and just kind of focus on filling this entire area with chlorine and then not just focus on small segments. I think that's a better idea. I need an access point in here. Yeah, so here's one of the problems. See, I've got this liquid down here, but I'm running out of water. Basically, I've run out of water over here because this one is dormant. But not for very long. Meanwhile, this one up here is just like, well, it's dormant for a little while. But it was active there for a good long time. So I guess I gotta move some ice in there. Just kind of seems like the easiest way to get some more water into this area. Alright, I'll make a storage compactor and we'll just fill it with some ice. Now I'm working the power system hard. Just using this point over and over again. This is working out okay. Keeps going. So what I want to have in here is a large reservoir of clean water and a fairly large reservoir of polluted water. There are some pieces of equipment where you want to have polluted water. If I wanted to get into kind of processing polluted water in a, what was that? One of those equipments, the algae distiller. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry, the fertilizer synthesizer is what I'm referring to. So I'm going to have a total of 10 storage tanks. That'll give me 50 tons of liquid. And the first one here I'm going to have set up on a day timer so that I only put more liquid into the system at certain times during the day. So that way it fills in during a certain time and then it will sit there in chlorine and become disinfected, and then we'll fill the rest of the tanks, on a day-by-day cycle. I've decided to make a med bay down here as well, just because I didn't have one of those before. For whatever reason, I just totally avoided, using those med bays. Although, or the medical beds, even though I have used them a couple times here in the past. So if I look at the room overlay, haha! I'm all good. Just in case. And you don't actually have to plug in the lavatory or, plumb it up to make it work. It just has to be in there. I don't really have any interest in making it work, so there you have it. Because I've already got everything else plumbed up how I want it. I didn't even think of this, but you might be able to use storage or liquid reservoirs with the sensors on the pipe in order to determine when that reservoir is full, and then use that as an automation signal to various systems. So I was just thinking through, okay, so if I wanted to take all of my oxygen in this base and store it inside of tanks, and then redistribute it to different equipment, like we have the exosuit docks or areas inside the base based on the pressure, and just automate all of that so that the pressure throughout the base remains a certain level. Let's say I want it to be all 1 kilogram everywhere you go. I could do that sort of thing. And then I can turn off certain systems depending on what's filled up here. That's the idea, man. It sounds complicated, but it might be possible. I think it's something to look into. So, in order to have some sort of sensor here, I guess I gotta look at how the liquid would flow through something like this. I think it would always want to go into this tank first, which means it would want to come out of that tank first. But if I exited over here, entered over there, and exited over there, if it's empty, it would go in here and out there. So if I had a sensor here, I might be able to use that as kind of a limiter. So if, this is building up, building up, building up, I might have some overflow going on. But I can turn off some systems maybe in this spot. I don't know. Got to do some experiments. I think that's going to be a future video right there. So much sweeping in this episode too, man. Look at it all. I haven't done anything with this. Not a single thing. Let's just get this done real quick. I started off the video saying we were actually going to focus on this, and then I got distracted by a bunch of shiny tanks down here. Speaking of getting distracted by shiny tanks, a guy named Adam sent me a couple pictures here. And you can see this is like a very expansive automated storage system right there. So he's kind of saying, hey, yeah, you can do this. And this is how I did it. He did the trick where you don't have any tiles right there. It works. You got to deconstruct the floor and then build the next row. Then you can see the priority system here. So you bring it in near the bottom and then it starts to fill up a little bit higher. And then you get to there and it just sorts out. So I think I'll be doing something like this in my base eventually. I also keep getting questions about my little quadcopter and what I'm doing with that. And I've continued to fly this thing around in just about every day, having some fun with this. And as you can see here, I'm definitely getting more bold and making the moves bigger and whatnot. There's actually a link to this video down there in the description below if that's something that interests you. And there's also links to the components that I'm using in this particular build, which is just a little 3-inch quad. So it's small, it's quiet, even though I have the microphone boosted really loud. It sounds loud, it's not. And it's a good thing for flying if you have a decent sized backyard or just anywhere else that you just kind of think, hey, maybe this would fit well here. And it's not a huge quad like a lot of people are flying around. And the video lagged out. So there's that. I would say the most interesting thing about that hobby is just the feeling of progression, because it is kind of a highly skilled hobby to get into. You kind of really got to practice quite a bit and learn what you're doing. So at least where I'm at, it feels like, oh man, I keep making big steps forward as I continue to fly and try some new things. And I don't know, it's fun. I haven't really gotten out to, fly around with other people and stuff. I've pretty much just been hanging out in my backyard. But once the weather is not crap, I'll get out there. It'll be fun. All right. So many tanks. Where was this other? Yes. I do have a queue to get to this ladder and go inside of here and actually build up. I have yet to make that happen. I guess I'm not using up enough power up here to... Oh no, every once in a while we get a little bit more hydrogen to flow down there. It's working. There's nothing but carbon dioxide in there. Maybe a little steam. I'm rebuilding this. This is going to be completely different and a lot better. So the thing about what's going on up here is that I have filtration medium like right next to this vent. So it should be pretty easy to just go up there and convert all of that to oxygen as it's coming out and have it be completely clean, because guess what? It's super hot. Because there's definitely no germs that are going to survive at 200 degrees Celsius. So I can use an auto sweeper that's made of steel, like this, with one of these little deodorizers. Man, and if I conveyed... Well, I guess I don't really need to convey. Let's just see. We got plenty of regolith right there. Oh, we got a bit more. I'm pretty sure this thing will just fuel itself for a good long while. I could just put a storage tank there and pump it full even of a bunch more regolith if I really wanted to. Now, as far as power to run that guy. How am I gonna get that? Let's just dig this up real quick. And then I'm going to run, gosh, where's all my iron? What about you, Vol? What's up with you? Man, just been having a hard day. We'll dig out this way and we'll get to some more iron. I think whatever this system was doing is pretty much done. There's not a lot of steam left in that area. There's some over here, but just not anywhere else. So we can convert that back to auto. I can just deconstruct all of that. Another thing that I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to take this gas pipe and I'm just going to bridge it like this. Because I have one system over here on the left that's just doesn't really have any good spot to run the rest of its hydrogen, right? So I'm going to turn that to 0 and bring this back to 10 and rework those systems. Alright, these vols don't seem very effective. So glad I took the time to bring them into the game. All I do is dance around. Come on, what's up with you guys? Come on. Get back to eating stuff. Bunch of slackers. Man, ridiculous. How'd you end up down here? What? Get back up here. You're supposed to be eating this stuff. Not? Marie! What? Come on. How do you get stuck in the middle of the base? These duplicants. They're all doing the same thing. This one, that one. It must be like the meteor dance or something. They're calling down rocks from the sky. Oop. No, that one's still here. I thought he just got blasted. Okay, so this cool steam vent is now up and running, and it's going to be running for, a long time. What, am I out of power? Uh-oh, what happened over here? What? Oh no, something happened. Whoa, hydrogen? Say what? How did hydrogen get inside of there? Oh no. See, this is why I need just a big gas storage system. So I don't have to worry about all of this. I could just pump it into big tanks, hold it there, and then use it when I need it. Otherwise, I end up in this crazy little situation. We have the right equipment now, so let's just do it right. So even though half of my base is without power right now, this system down here, kind of the core system of my base, it's still working out all right because it still has power. And then every once in a while, it dumps a bit of power out into the rest of the system. So you can see how it's filling up, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, that's it, just dumping some out into the rest of the system. So you'll see this spike up every once in a while. Oh wow, actually if that's all down, then this thing's down as well. Oh no! Okay, run this piece of equipment. Very good. Hopefully I can get that up and running here pretty soon. Well, this is a fun trip. Why is it? Okay. There we go. Wrong elements for a little while, but it'll be okay. Look at the power. It's like, oh, not enough. There we go. Alrighty, good deal. Everything's back up and running. I keep getting distracted. This stuff. Do this stuff now, duplicants. Come on, you can do it. You see, they do this dance until they get hit by a meteorite, and then they reset. That's what it is. Now, if I put a little sensor in here with the thing connected to it, aha! I can start to pump out some of this nice, clean, hot oxygen. And once this wire gets connected, come on, dupes. I'm gonna bypass this whole thing. You really aren't gonna need it. If anything, it's now going around in circles. Come on, people. One more spot. Marie! Marie, you're doing the wrong job. That's supposed to be the sweeper's job. Come on, Marie. That thing only has one job. Speaking of... Where's its power? Oh, the struggle. Oh, buddy. One more spot. One more thing. Right there. Come on. And there we go. Yeah. No. Oh, this stuff is so plugged in backwards. Crap. There we go. So now all that gas is going to flow in there, and then I'm just going to deconstruct all of this gas pipe and just work on rerouting it. Now, so when the natural gas flows into the system, we'll see that, yes, it does indeed go into the very first one. So I can use whether a gas is present or not with like a timer to turn on and off certain systems based on that pipe being backed up. So that should work. So there comes the natural gas. Meow. Maybe it's better to have it go up and just follow the same line out. That way I don't have to like keep working between two levels. What? Hey, how'd you get stuck over here now? Well, come on, you can dig that. You're right there. Okay, fine. Fine, dig down. Can you just not dig? What's your problem? No, you can dig. Like, you can dig really good. Oh, you don't have the skills to do that dig, huh? Okay, then. Build you a couple granite ladders and you can get out of there. There you go. So now that I have a source of oxygen, what I can do is I can bring this down into my base, and I can actually just plug it right into these exosuits. Or I could run it to the main system all the way down there and just kind of make that work, but it's kind of a ways away. So now that I have that other system set up, I really don't need this whole Weezewort system to compress a bunch of stuff. It's really just not even necessary. I mean, sure, at some point, if I can't use up all the natural gas I have, then I'm gonna waste some, but I don't know, how much do you really need? What I can do is bring this pump right next to that, not have to worry about it because it's just right there. Don't have to worry about the temperature because I can just make it out of steel. Not a big deal. I can also use a filtration system on the way in to make sure that any gas that's coming in here can get sorted into the right location. If I wanted to do something like that, because you see how a little bit of oxygen found its way in. And now that's going to make its way down to my pump or my generator and slightly damage it. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, because it's just one little block, but you know, if you had a slight mistake, you could pass that mistake throughout the rest of your base. Kind of like this. This is a bit of a mistake here. And this thing's flooded, and this area needs some help. Although it is one way to, you know, cool things down. I've really disabled a lot of this stuff because it's not running anymore, and well, this area over here is nice and cold, and that's getting kind of cold. I don't know. I gotta do some more work on that. That's not gonna happen today. I think this is where I'm gonna call it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little episode here of the Ultimate Automation Challenge. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you again next time. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.